Now, Director of the Koffi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Kwesi, has appealed to African leaders to impress upon the President of Cameroon to resign. In his estimation, the current conflict engulfing the English-speaking side of Cameroon is as a result of Paul Biya's failed leadership marginalization. Now, speaking to Metro News on the sidelines of the launch of Global Peace, he said the situation in Cameroon will get worse if Paul Biya does not leave his post.
The last 4 years have witnessed one of the bloodiest armed conflicts threatening to grow into a full-blown civil war in English-speaking Cameroon, where its people, the Ambazonians, are calling for their independence. Speaking on the current situation in Cameroon, Dr. Kwesi blamed the raging conflict on the failure of the Paul Biya government to include everyone in the governance of the country.
The fight is most unfortunate precisely because when Anglophone and Francophone Cameroon decided to come together as one country, the original constitution recognized the need for equality and for inclusion. And once more, your word exclusion comes in. When you repress people and they don't get equal access to the distribution of state resources, their identities, of which language is a key, is suppressed. And when there are no avenues for engagement, then people use violence. That is not the most appropriate tool to use. But in the Cameroon case and elsewhere, people just don't have a chance. Okay, what bothers me about Cameroon is the deafening silence of our continental organization and the regional organization, ECAS. Okay? In West Africa, there would have been some form of an intervention because state forces repressing, shooting, almost on the verge of committing genocidal crime would not be permitted in West Africa because here there is leadership.
Currently, villages have been burned to the ground with many citizens of Ambazonia seeking refuge in neighboring countries as refugees. Dr. Kwesi says if nothing is done to stop the violence in English-speaking side of Cameroon, things will get worse for that country.
It's going to get much worse. It's going to get much bloodier. It's going to get more radicalized. And it's going to spread. Because people would need, the fighters would need to go into neighboring states to recruit more, to rearm. Constitutionalism and transparent, inclusive, democratic processes may not always be successful. They may have their faults, but at least it creates an opportunity for people to feel that they have been consulted, that they have been included. And when all those avenues are manipulated, closed, shut down, it becomes problematic. Look, I think Africa's heads of states must call their brother and say, probably, for the greater good, step down. Who would have thought that Mr. Bashir would have ended where he is? Okay? Who would have thought Mr. Taylor would have ended where he is? You know, so this country, this continent is replete with examples where people have flouted the rules and they have gone down in disgrace.
Paul Biya has ruled Cameroon since 1982, and all attempts by the opposition to dislodge him from power democratically have failed. Frank Munato, Metro News, Accra.